Hey you guys, I'm back with another video now. This is gonna be my first video for I'm sorry you guys. Okay. Hey, oh my god, why does my skin just look so bad today? Like, I did my makeup before this video, but I thought I looked better way before. I don't know. But anyways, I'm so sorry. I just keep on playing with my hair. But we are gonna be talking about Leo so I'm gonna be talking about the recent Love is Blind season 7, and honestly I don't know yet when I'll be able to rank this season, whether it's my favorite or my not favorite. Right now I am feeling the season, I am feeling a lot of the drama of this season, but I just keep forgetting about this season. I don't know, it's like when every season comes on in the fall, I just forget about it, and then after the season passes, it turns out to be a really good season to me. That's what happened to season 5 of Love is Blind. I don't know why, but I wasn't keeping up with the season like that. I wasn't really into it while the season was going on. But then after the season ended and it aired, I actually loved the season so much. It's one of my favorite seasons now. So I hope this is what happens with this season. But I've been hearing a lot of stuff about this season. But honestly, today we're just going to talk about Leo. I wasn't going to do a video today, but what made me do this video today was that, I was going to wait to do a video next week or even the end of this week. But I was you know what, I have to make this video because I don't know why, but last night when I was in bed, there was I saw a Reddit about Leo, and it basically was it's not fair how let me try to see. I'm gonna pull it up I'm gonna see if I can pull it up for you guys to even see as well when I edit this through CapCut, whatever it's called, CapCut. But it was basically everyone talking about how Leo just talks about how much money he has, and if he has that much money, then he doesn't really have a lot of money. And honestly, Leo reminds me of a lot of my hometown friends. And I don't know, but I'm really gonna do a rant on this video of what I think about Leo. So when I first watched the season, I believe last Wednesday, my heart was bumping because the drama was intense. So when I first watched this season of Leo, Hannah, Brittany, and Nick, I was this tea is hot. And so at first I was team, I kind of liked Leo because I was okay, his family members died and stuff like that, and that's how he was able to to get all this money. And even Hannah says, oh, you could have stayed on the couch when you were a kid and just not have continued on your parents' business, after they had passed, which is so sad. Bless his heart, bless their parents' heart. I hope they're doing okay in heaven. I really pray for Leo's family and stuff like that. So then I was okay, I kind of like Leo because he kind of talked about why he got the money, and I think God blessed him like that, which I still do think this way. But now I kind of changed my mind about him. I just think that Leo is kind of saying too much about the money. And he even says, after these episodes air, that he didn't talk about money a lot in the pods. But, I think the edit made it look like that he would talk about money a lot in the pods and, in the quarter lounge. But, the producers cannot change what comes out of your mouth. And basically, on a TV show, the producers can never change what comes out of your mouth. And, it's kind of the producer's job to create an interesting storyline for people to watch. So it's we want people to watch, and they made a storyline about how he talks about money. And I just think that him talking about money, it's just, now I kind of get where you guys are coming from, because he says he has a lot of money, but then I'm does he really have a lot of money? Because a person who has a lot of money is usually quite about it. And someone on Reddit was saying that one of their family members or friends, they know that person is very rich and wealthy, and they only talked about having a lot of money once. That was it. And I feel that Leo, people on Reddit were saying Leo doesn't have his own identity. And I think that and then they said money is his personality. And I feel that money is people's personality that don't have a life. For example, from poor to rich, whether you're poor or rich, which I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but for example, if you don't have a lot of money and you don't find the time to give yourself structure, I feel that people who make money, their personality are either poor and rich and don't have a life outside of like money, I'd say. And so like they either like stay in the house all day and complain that they don't have any money, they need more money, or they're rich and wealthy and they'll stay in the house all day. They'll get into drama and then they'll complain that like how like they'll brag that they have all this money. It's like if you watch The Housewives, a lot of the times I don't really see them going out the house that much. Like yes, like they'll go out the house from here to here, but like I know like they probably want to stay home a lot because like, you know, they like their homes. And so I see like a lot of people when I watch The Housewives, they get really irritated, they get really upset, they get into huge fights. And I think those people, like, they need to touch grass. Like, they are always in the house. Not saying like don't leave your house, but I'm saying as a person myself, like for example me, it reminds me of my college friends because Leo actually reminds me of one of my college friends who has like you know, pretty like wealthy parents, like upper middle class parents, and like she's blessed, you know, and like she goes to my college. And during class, like every Friday, I took student seminar with her my freshman year of college, the first semester. Every single class, she would complain about how much money she had. Like it was crazy. And she would literally brag about how she had a Jeep wagon, and it was every class. But then like literally during class, I would see that she was miserable. So she would brag about how like she has a Jeep wagon, like her parents, which I'm not jealous at all. Like I'm like, this is not coming from jealousy. Like she would complain how she like, well, she wouldn't complain, but she would be like, yeah, like my senior year of high school, like I got a Jeep wagon. And then she would be like, yeah, like I got this, I got that, like I got a big house. And then like she'll just complain how like she like got all this money, like she got a big house, she got a Jeep wagon. And then she would like, when I used to follow her on Instagram, like she had like all like she would always show off like her Jeep wagon, like her Jeep Wrangler. I forget what the car is, but it was like a white Jeep Wrangler she had, and she would always show it off like on her Instagram or whatever like that. And then like people would come like, yo, you must be rich, and like she'll kind of come along with it and be like, yeah, like I'm hyped rich. See, I've lived with people who like not lived with, but I've had people tell me like, oh, like, you know, like you like live in a nice town, like you live in like a nice neighborhood, whatever like that. But I wouldn't really feed into it too much. Like I wouldn't really entertain it too much. And I feel like that Leo, like he just entertains in it too much. I feel that people on this show, mostly like they brag about money. Like, I don't know, but past season, it's just been a thing where like people will just like kind of like brag about money. And it's like, that's their whole personality. Like if you like look at season 5, like you will see like the homeless guy. There was like a homeless guy on the show, and like it was like behind the scenes, like he would always think about money. He would always have to pay his phone bill. And it's like people on this show, I feel like that who don't have money, they make it their personality because like they just tend to like kind of talk about, like don't really do anything about it to kind of change. And people who on the show who do have money, they always have to say like, oh, like can you gift shower me? And so even like with Leo, like when Brittany asks like, hey, like would you do 50-50? Because she would like wanted to make sure like she wouldn't have to like split everything. Leo was like, I don't do 50-50, but like I'm gonna pay majority of it and then you pay some. But I'm just like, can't you provide 100% though? Like if you have a lot of money and like people know that, like can't you like provide 100%? Like he was like, I don't want to win for my money. And it was just like every single episode it was like money. And I'm just like, is money just his whole personality? And does he travel outside of like having money? Does he actually like do things outside of having money? Which I hope he does, but it just seems like that he's one of those people who like stay in the house, gets irritated easily, and has all this money. And I think that's what it is with this whole season. I think everyone on this season has money besides, I heard that somebody actually was unemployed on the show, but I feel like that a lot of the women too, like have money on this show, and that's their whole personality. Cause like the people on this show currently, they have big careers. And I think that like their whole personality is just work. That's why people are also saying like that, like this season is not really kind of hitting because it's just like people are like not trying to be influencers, after the show. And like, I think last season was so interesting because it's like you had people who were like not really making a lot of money, and they were actually like doing the show for like influencing, which I kind of love that for them. But it's just like, I think like this season, like people just have so much money on the show through like big careers. They don't even need the show honestly to like make money, but they have big careers through the show, and like they kind of act spoiled, they act irritated, which I'm not offended by at all. Like, I'm not mad at it at all, but like they act irritated, they act spoiled and stuff like that. They kind of act like they're like, oh, the top, like they have to like they're, even with like Alexandra, like when that whole scene with her and Tim, I feel like it has to do with like money. Like, I don't know, like spoiledness, I don't know, which I'm not, like this is just my thoughts. But yeah, I feel like that Leo, like, he has so much money, and it just makes him act weird too. That's what I forgot to say. People also with a lot of money, they tend to act weird. Like, it's just crazy. Like, people who has a lot of money, and I've seen it before as well. I've seen it in person in real life, and it's just like they tend to act really weird in real life, and it's just like, why? Like, I've seen people with a lot of money who've done malicious thing, like just malicious out of pocket thing. It's like, oh, like they're too cool for school, like they can't talk to you, like they look at your clothes and they're like, like I got richer clothes, or like I got better stuff. And it's kind of just like, is this a competition? Like, I feel like people with money, they're also malicious. Like if they think that, like, for example, I feel like people who have money don't like people who don't have money. Like, they don't get along with people who don't have money. And like me, I get along with people, like I live like in a suburban area, but it's just like, I worked at a job where like I worked at a job where like people lived in like the hood. People lived in like all different types of areas. Like, they didn't really have good living situations. They lived in like the hood and stuff like that. And I was kind of like still friends with them, you know. I was still friends with them, but it was just like they couldn't get along with me. And I was just like, I don't know why, if it's jealousy. And like they were kind of like, you know, like they would kind of just like look at me in a way. And like, I think I got along with like one person who like kind of lived in like the hood as well, but it wasn't anything like weird, you know. And I just feel like even people who don't have a lot of money, like they don't even get along with like people who do have a lot of money. And I'm just like, this is why like a lot of people who are like poor, like I feel like that the people also who like are homeless and poor, the reason why they make money their whole personality, because it's just like all they think about is like needing money. Rather than like, oh, like, let me just start this to like make money. Let me just do this to make money. Rather than like being productive to make money. But people who do have money, like they just like stay in the house. Then like they're just miserable. And like they never find the time to like get out the house and like kind of like find a life outside of money. Find friends outside of money, you know. Find ways to kind of just like help charity and stuff like that. Like the real genuine people with lots of money, I've seen help out the homeless, like feed the homeless, donate, even like, yeah, like donate. And it's just like, are people who are middle class the most genuine people? Because even people who are middle class, they donate as well. They give to the homeless. They are happy. I feel like that people who are middle class, they're the happiest. And I feel like people who are like kind of just like who have a lot of money, they're depressed inside, but they act happy on the outside and just brag about money because that's just their life, I guess. And they kind of just like show it off on like social media. And it's like people who don't have money, like they're just like asking for money around. And like, I think that people with the less money you have, the more genuine you are, I would say. Cause like you're kind of working to make more money one day. And then when you get to that point where like you're wealthy, you don't brag about it. Cause just like, you know what it's been like. You've known what you've been through to kind of just like get to like the point where like you're financially stable, so you don't really brag about money. You just kind of just like, you're humble about it. And Leo, he's not that person. Leo brags about it because he probably has just gotten that and I'm gonna be a little mean, but after his family died, he probably just had that business just handed to him, and he doesn't really know what it's like to kind of just like live in like he doesn't know what it's like to kind of just like live in places like he doesn't know what it's like to kind of just like live in bad, he doesn't know what it's like to have bad living situations, not have money, and like kind of just have to work for money. He doesn't know what it's like to work for money. And I just feel that people who've never worked for money and just were born with money, they act fake. And people who had to work for money, they're genuine, they're well-spoken, they've came so far, and they're just real, and they never brag about their money. Yes, they'll say it from time to time, but like, it's like we're the ones that brag about their money, you know? We're the ones that are jealous about their money. We're like, oh, like she has money. Like, I think Leo wanted people to be jealous for the fact that he has money. Like, I think Leo wanted people to like just be jealous and be like, oh my God, like I wish I was Leo. I wish I had that money. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit fronting like, damn, I wish I had that money. I wish I had that money. Can you pay my college books? Can you pay my college books? I'm sorry, I'm just playing. But like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, even like a lot of the people that go to my school, I could tell who has worked for money and who is like fake. Like, I even have like a lot of like, I have a friend like also like she will literally act fake because she's never worked for money. She's never worked for money either. Like, she's never worked for money and she'll just act fake. And I feel like that me, like, for whatever reason, like me, I'm like so genuine. Like, yes, like I live in a suburban area, but like I know what it's like to like go from like literally living in the hoods, like not in the hoods, but like living in like a lesser situation, like living in an apartment, to like moving into a home. Like, so it's like I was like me, people would always tell me like, oh, like you're rich, girl, you're rich because I live in a suburban area. But like I never were to feed into it. I never were to be like, yeah, I am rich. Oh, check out my Apple Watch. Oh, check out my clean room. Oh wait, no, check out my, like, look at this book bag. Look at this book bag. Like, I don't really kind of brag about it. I don't really try and be like, yeah, like, I do live in, yep, I do got the big home. I don't act egotistical, at least in that situation. I don't really act like, oh, like, yeah, I don't act like that I'm like all that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I just say, oh, yeah. Like when people say like, oh, like you're rich. Like when they try to say like I'm rich, I literally will just be like, I don't say anything. I don't say, like, I've never once bragged about I've never once bragged about living in like a suburban area and like going to like a good school. Well, maybe like for sports, but like that was it. Like money for me was never my personality. But I would say that when I was an athlete, I feel like that when I was an athlete and like I like came from like a good high school, I think that even this goes to athletes, like, oh my God, a lot of athletes I would say are like act the same way like Leo. Like a lot of high school athletes, like they'll be like, oh, like when I go to college, I'm gonna get a full ride scholarship, and they will brag about having a full ride scholarship on their social media, but they don't put in the work to like get better in college too. So I'm just like, also, do athletes act like Leo and make money their personality as well? Because like for whatever reason, like me, like when I was playing sports in high school, like that was all I was thinking about. It was money. That's why for me, I never got far in my sport. I never got far in track because I'm just like, I would always think about how much money the coaches were going to give me, how much money all these coaches like were going to give me when I came out of high school. So it was just like, I would never kind of, well, I actually know I would sometimes, like, that's why in high school I was more insecure about money, because I was just like, oh, I would always brag about how I thought coaches were going to give me a lot of money after high school, how I was going to run on a full ride scholarship. And that's why I never got far in track, because I was always a person, sorry, there's background noise, which I don't mind about, but like I was always a person who would always just like never be humble. That's why I never got far in my sport too. So like this goes for athletes, like never be egotistical about your sport and stuff like that. And I feel like that with Leo, like he just acts malicious, which not in a bad way, but like he just acts malicious. And like even my friends in my hometown, they act just like Leo. They act just like Leo because they've never known what it's like to kind of work for money. They've never seen their parents actually like working for money. Even like my siblings' rich friends, like even my siblings, like one of my siblings' old friends, Like her father's like a doctor, and like her mom's a stay-at-home wife, and like she would just have a mean attitude towards my sister and me too as well. And I was just like, was it because of the fact that like she just had money and she never saw what it was like to kind of just like see her parents kind of just like work for money? Or like, that's what also confused me as well. Like, do a lot of people just who don't even see their parents work for money and stuff like that just act kind of mean to people like out in the real world? And don't get me wrong, like I used to act like that too in the 5th grade. Like me in the 5th grade, like I would just be such a bully for no reason, because I don't know, and I don't know if it was just like I just took what I had for granted. And I'm just like, I think this goes to show like, oh, like don't take things for granted. I think that Leo, he is kind of taking things for granted, stuff like that. Like when he has money, like he's taking things for granted. And it's kind of just like, I'm not jealous at all. Like I'm not jealous at all, but I'm just like, why do you have this time and time again, the like, I have money. Oh, I have money. Oh, I have money. The dollar bill sign. Oh, I have money. Like me, if I had that much money, but I would never brag about it on my show. I would never brag about it on my show. Like, I'm going to just make sure, though, that, like, I'm financially stable to take care of my husband. But I'm not going to brag about it to my husband, like, hey, like, I have money. Even when Leo was talking about how much money he had towards Raymond and, like, that other guy who looks like Kenneth, like, at the table, I don't know, I can't really put the scene out, but on the table, they were getting tired of him. They were kind of annoyed. They were like, oh, my God, we don't want to hear you. They were, like, literally, this is how they were sitting, and Leo was like, oh, yeah, so I have money. I grew up well off. I went to private school. Yeah, I went to this school. I grew up well off. Yeah, my parents gave me a lot of money. Yep, I have all this money. But then you never once mentioned about the Holy Spirit. Like, people who actually have money mention the Holy Spirit, how they were blessed with that money. Leo, I don't think he really has money now, because Leo never mentions the Holy Spirit, how God blessed him with this money. Leo never mentions how God blessed him with the money, how God gave him just all this money and stuff like that. Like, Leo never mentions God and stuff like that. He never mentions Christianity. He just mentions money. And I'm just like, is this kind of like, is this a devilish behavior? Like, you got these two guys, Asian and black, sitting on the table listening to his story, how he got money. Then you got Leo being like, yeah, I got money, yep, yeah, look at my passing around your Rolex, like, okay, like he's saying like, yeah, like I got money, like I went to private school, I grew up very well off and stuff like that. And then they're like, just like, oh, like we don't want to hear this, like, we don't want to hear this, like, okay, like we get it. And like I felt the same way. I felt the same exact way. I just feel that people who have a lot of money, they act very childish. Like, even I've seen literally adults, I've seen like adults with lots of money, and they act like a child. They act like my little sister who's 6 years old. Like, that's literally what it is. Even I had a college professor. He acted the same way like Leo. He would brag how he lived in the richest town. And I would come to class every single day and every single week. And he'd be like, yeah, like I have so much money. I live in the richest town. I live in a rich town. So do people with money, do people with money not really kind of like know how they got it? Like, are they blind to how they got the money? Do they ever thank God for the money that they blessed them with? Do they ever thank God? Like me, I would be blessing the Lord if I had that much money. I'd be like, thank you, God for giving me all that money. But like people who actually have that much money, do they actually like bless God with all that money they have? Like, I've never seen people who've bragged about money in 2024. I've never seen them thank God at all. Like, even my college professor, I would come to class every single week, and it would just be like, I live in a rich town. I live in a suburb. Yep. And I graduated with a 2.8 GPA. Like, he would just brag about his school, how he graduated with a 2.8 GPA and made money with music, and how just rich he has. He showed us his home. This is the inside. Guys, he was like, guys, this is my, it's like he would literally take pictures of his house and show it to us in class. And I'm just like, do I really care? Like, I'm happy for you, but like, I don't really care. Like, people who brag about money, I don't really care at all. I don't care at all. And like me, who lives in a suburban area, and like, I don't even have money myself. But like, when I do get to the point where I have a lot of money, I'm not going to brag about it. I'm going to thank God about it. I'll be like, thank you, God, for the money you've gave me. Thank you, God. thank you, God. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna help my family as well. I'm gonna give some of it to my family. And I think, do people with a lot of money, do they ever share it with their family? Do they ever give money to their family? Do they ever give a chance? Like, do they ever give, like, did Leo ever, like, give some money to the funeral? Like, I need to actually, like, interview Leo and actually, like, deep dive. Like, I need to watch Leo's podcast, because I'm just like, money. That's literally Leo. That's literally Leo. Like, did Leo play sports in high school? Did Leo play, like, hold on, I'm gonna close the door. But, like, hold on. My thing is, like, did Leo ever play sports in high school? Like, cause I'm just like, did he ever have, like, structure? And I know, like, I've known what he's been through. People were also saying, like the cancer story, like, with his parents dying and, like, having cancer, and, like, his family dying and having cancer. They don't even think that's true, which I don't even think that's really true as well. And I'm just like, what really happened? I know some girls said that sounds like a 2020 storyline hotline story. Like, I don't know. And to me, it kind of does. I'm just like, he never brought up his parents dying. Like, really, he never really deep dived into, like, his parents dying with cancer, his grandparents dying with cancer. So it's just like, see, like, me, I would be more upset about that situation than money. Like, if I was in that situation, I would be worried about, like, I don't have any family members. I don't have any family members to actually, like, take care of me. I have to go to my aunt. That's what I would be worried about. Like, if I, like, in that situation, like, if I literally had that much money because of that, like, of what I didn't even want to say it, of, like, what happened to, like, and I was in a legal situation, I would not brag about money. In fact, I would actually, like, be upset about that. I don't really have a family member. I would be upset, like, yo, like, I don't have a family member. Like, I don't have a mom. I'm an infant, guys. Like, that's what we talking about in the pods. Leo never mentioned once in the pods how he's an infant, how he doesn't have any parents, any grandparents. It was just money. He was like, I'd rather be well off than not be well off, and, like, my family members being dead, and I'm just like, I would never say that. Like, for me, like, I'd rather have family members, which I do till this day. I'd rather have family members and be poor and live in poverty. Like, that's what I would want. Like, I would never be happy if I had a lot of money and all my parents, like, all my family members just died. Like, I would not be happy. Like, then fuck money. At this point, I don't care. Like, and that's why, for me, money never brought me happiness, because literally I was unemployed all this summer, but yet I still found a way to be happy and work things out through the grace of God. Like, I feel like that people who don't have money, they learn how to maneuver things, and people with money just used to, like, oh, like, I'll just call an Uber. Or, oh, yeah, which, don't get me wrong, like, I also, like, have that luxury as well, but I never brag about it. Like, okay, it's fine to, like, kind of, like, have it and, like, be prideful of it, but I've never bragged about it. And, like, he was like to Hannah, like, oh, like, you're so prideful about, like, you not having money. And I'm just like, is he trying to, like, brag so much to Hannah about, like, how much money he has as well? But I don't know, that was just kind of weird to me, how, like, oh, like, you're bragging about all this money, and it's just like, I've never, like, and I think someone searched up, like, his business as well, and, like, his business is, like, is in New York City or whatever like that, and, like, which is pretty good, but I'm just like, you don't have to, like, we get it. You could just mention it one time, but, like, you don't have to brag about it, you know? Even, like, people from past seasons who have lots of money, I've never seen them brag about money this far, like, to an extent. And I think, like, this is why, like, this was, like, kind of, like, one of the most dramatic scenes to me, with, like, the whole love triangle, which I'm going to talk about in, like, another video, or maybe I don't know if I will. I'm gonna just talk about couple by couple, but, like, I don't know, that's just very, very, very crazy to me, how, like, somebody will go on, like, a reality show and just brag about money. And I think the housewives will do that as well. But, like, I see that, like, they have actually kind of just, like, worked for their business. If you even watch Selling Sunset, Chrishell has lots of money, but, like, she can't, like, if you watch Selling Sunset, people have literally stories that like they came from nothing and now they have all this money. Leo, yes, like his family members died, but just like, did you really come from nothing? Like you just got it handed to you. Yes, like you like yes, like you worked, like you yes, like Hannah said like you could have laid in the couch and kind of just like did nothing, but like yes, like you took off your parents' business to like so like all you had to do was like continue the business. All you had to do was like continue the business or whatever. I'm sorry, like I'm kind of like speaking all over the place, but like all you had to do was like continue the business and all this stuff, and just continue like having this money. And I'm not jealous at all, but I'm just like I feel like that a person in that situation would not kind of brag about having money. Like why are you so confident to brag about all the money? Like I don't get that. I really don't get it. I don't know. And at first I was like, okay, like, yeah, like guys, you have to be nice to Leo. But now I'm just like, like, this is weird how like this was weird how like one will just brag about money. Like how will one will just brag about money? Like for me, I would never brag about money. Like I literally will like, I would like, that would be so uncalled for me to do that. Like just what, like, in fact, for me, like I would continue working. Like I would like for me, I wouldn't have to brag for money because I'm just like I've known what I've been through to get the money. The same thing with like my jobs. I've never bragged about, oh yeah, I get paid 500 every, which to me is a lot of money. I get paid, yeah, my job pays me a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of money. Yeah, I get my hair braided a lot. Yeah, I have a, like, even if I come to the point where, like, I'm a millionaire one day, which, because I dream to, like, kind of, like, I dream to, like, kind of, like, be financially stable and, like, make a lot of money and stuff like that, but I'm never gonna brag about it. And even when I get to a point where, like, I'm making a lot of money, I'm never gonna be like, oh, yeah, like, I make a lot of money. Oh, I'm not gonna go to my husband and be like, I make a lot of money. I will never brag, not even to my family. I will never brag. I will just help my family financially. But I will never be like, yeah, I have a lot of money. Yeah, when I got my first job, I didn't brag about it to my siblings. When I got my first job, my siblings didn't have a job. I didn't brag about it at all. I was just like, oh yeah, like I got a job. Yeah, I get paid this much. Yeah, do you want some? Like that was, and yes, like even though like I was kind of like, I should have kind of shared my paycheck with my siblings. Now that I think about it, still to this day. But I was kind of just like young. But like me, when I got my first ever job, I never bragged about money to my siblings, my family. Like I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, like I got a lot of money. Yep. Oh, you don't got a job? Oh, sucks to be you. Like I would, that's literally Leo. That's literally Leo. I literally would not sit here and be like, oh yeah, yeah. You don't got a job still? Oh, like what? And even like my siblings, like they'll be like, oh, I wish you could do stuff like you, like, you know, order DoorDash food. Like you have a job, you can DoorDash food. But I would be like, oh, yeah, I could. Like I would never brag about it. I would share, which I should probably share it more. But I'm just like, I will never like brag about money. And like, yes, maybe I act a little bit out of pocket when I've gotten money to my hands, but like, at the end of the day, I've never acted like Leo when I had money. Like, I feel like that people, like, money just talks. Like, when you get a lot of money, when you get all this access to money, you just talk. And people, they don't know how to calm themselves down. They don't know how to humble themselves. And even this one person on Reddit was like, oh, like, yeah, like, this guy had a lot of money, but, like, he humbled himself. His family was really humble. Like, I think this guy, like, his dad was, like, very rich. And, like, they gave him and his siblings, like, 6 figures. And like they're still humble as a family member. I bet you if that was Leo's family, he'll be talking about it all the time. It'll be on the newspaper. It'll be on the news. Guy on the news. Watch on the news. Oh, this guy Leo makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money, guys. He makes lots of money, guys. Yep. He's a millionaire, guys. He's an art dealer, guys. He makes 60 million with the art dealer. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know, like if I was Leo, I just wish I had the confidence like Leo to kind of just brag about my money, to brag about like my parents being able to like buy a house. Like I just wish I had the confidence to be like, oh yeah, like my parents got a lot of money. Oh, you want to see my parents' Rolex? You want to see my mom's Rolex? You want to see my mom's Sephora kit? Oh, you want to see my mom's Gucci bag? Oh yeah, my mom has like I just don't like doing that. Like that's just never me. Like I was such a person who like yes had like parents who were like who were like kind of like upper middle class, but I've never bragged about literally like I've never bragged about, oh yeah, like some people in my family have a lot of like, I've never done that, which they don't, but like I'm saying like even like me who like has like who is blessed to like have a good living situation and stuff like that, I've never once bragged about, oh yeah, my parents were able to buy a big house. I mean, not big, but my parents were able to buy a house. Yeah. Oh, you live in an apartment still? Oh, you want to check out my? Oh, yeah, you want to come to my house? Yes. So this is my living room. Yeah. Oh, yes. Like, I grew very well off. Like, I went to a good high school. Yeah, I went to a good town. Oh, yeah, I grew very well off with a good town. Oh, yeah, like, I just have like a bed, like, no. Or like, oh yeah, like I have like so many TVs. Yeah, like I just grew very, like I never once bragged to my friends like that. And like I even had a friend who was also kind of just like wealthy as well, and she's genuine because like she also never, no, actually never mind, I lied. I had a friend who also made money their personality. Every single day I would come on the phone with this person. It would be like, oh, I have a job interview. They're paying me this much. They're paying me this much. Like it was just every single day on the phone with her. Oh, I don't got a job. So people without money, the people who don't have a life, most likely the people with no personality will either complain about not having money most of the time or having money. And like even my friend, like she literally also had like no life. She literally like she didn't want to go out at all. And then she just complained about having no money. Like, oh, I have no money. Yeah, I don't have a job. Oh my God, I got $6 in my bank account. And like me too, I got nothing in my bank account. But I would still be optimistic and I would still be happy. Like money never brought me happiness. And I just had to do this rant video because I'm just like, I just need to say this with my chest. Like I just need to, like, money does not buy happiness. And I'm just like, nobody everybody go on a season, like on season 8 and do the same thing. I got a lot of money. I have a lot of money. Yep, I have like the nice shoes that were handed to me, the nice clothes that my parents brought. I never would brag about them in class. Maybe I'll be like, oh, like my mom, I got new clothes for Christmas. But I would never be like, oh, like yeah, I got these nice jeans. I got these nice jeans. Oh yeah, because my parents have a lot of money. Yeah, like they grew up very like yeah. Like they both went to college. Yeah. Like I never would do like. And I like, yes, like I have people who even remind me like, oh, like, like your parents work very hard, but like I would never like be like, oh, yep, like I would not lose my ish. I would not act all like, and even the minute Leo was talking about money, that's when he was trying to like gaslight Hannah. Like I think the reason why Leo gaslights Hannah and Brittany because like he has money. That's why Leo gaslights everybody basically. Like I feel like that the reason why Leo like acts weird because he has money. And I'm just like, I just could never act like that. Like, I never could act like that. Like, I really could not act like that. But I don't know, like, that's weird. But that's it for the video. I just want to kind of make this, like, long video to just kind of, like, prove my point of, like, why kind of, like, Leo just reminds me of just, like, my, like, just why, like, Leo just kind of irks me. But I do love him in real life. Like, not... like, but like love him as a person on TV in real life. Like he's good TV, but like you don't gotta brag about having money. I'm sorry, but like I'm not jealous at all. Like I'm not even jealous, but I'm just like, I would never brag about money like that. I would never, like even when even when I like even like when I see my like friends with like kind of just like cars, like they never, like I don't know, it's just kind of just weird how like one is just so entitled to just kind of just like brag about that they went to private school. Like me, like I would, like if I went to private school, so okay, maybe good sports team, but that's it. Like good sports team that could bring me to like a big school, but that's really it. I'm not gonna brag about having like, oh, I got all this money. Like, yeah. Like I just can't do that. I cannot. And I'm just like, people will kind of front like us upper class people, us wealthy people should brag about having money, or like middle class people should brag about having money. But I'm just like me, like it's so hard to brag about money. It's so hard to brag about money. Like I cannot do it. Like if I get to a point where I'm financially stable, like I cannot brag about having money. I'm just like, oh yeah, like I have 3 businesses. Yeah, like I would be nonchalant. Like but as like, and I'm just like, is Leo happy in what he does then? Because if you're bragging about money, do you like your job actually? Do you actually like your parents' business? If you're like really, if you brag about money, do you actually love being a business owner? Do you love being an art dealer? I'm just like, people who have a lot of money, they don't really brag about it, but like they love what they're doing. Like they love what they're doing. And just like me, I would never like. I would like if you're bragging about money, you don't like your job. You don't like your job. You're gonna quit someday. Like if you brag about having money, you don't like your job. But like that's it. Like that's really just it. Leo don't like his job. And does Leo really make money? Because I remember 2 seasons ago, we found out that Carter was actually like homeless and like he actually like didn't have a job and like he used Milton to like pay for his phone bill. So I don't know. But comment down below what you think about Leo. Comment down below like if you kind of agree with like with what I said, if like you should always brag about having money. But I just want to make this video because I'm just like, this is getting really out of hand. Like I watched all the episodes, but I'm just like, I had to just make a whole rant about this Leo, just him. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna try to put like all the Reddits like on my video. I'm gonna try to put the Reddits on my video, and I'm gonna just try to make this in one video. Hopefully I have enough storage to kind of post this video today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with friends and family, and I'll see you in my next video. Toodles. Like, and then literally like look at all these Reddits about him, like about how like they're like annoyed at him about like how he brags about his money, and I kind of feel bad, but I'm just like, if you kind of like, they're kind of annoying. Look at all these Reddits. Like I think I have more Reddits, but like look at all the Reddits about like them complaining about how much money he has, and just like how like you just shouldn't brag about having money. Like it's just kind of just like pointless to brag about having money. Like what was the reason? Like you get it, you have money, you're very well off, you're very blessed, and like let it be. Like talk about something else. Like he didn't really connect to people on an emotional level. He just connected to people like on like the fact that he had money. That was kind of just it. Like the reason why he came on the show to like brag about having money. I think like he just should have went on a different show if he was bragging so much about money. Like he should, like I think he should go on like Love is Rich or like Married at First Sight Rich People or like Marrying Millionaires. I don't know. Oh, and just another thing. It's just like I feel like that people who brag about money are just annoying, because I'm just like, when Leo was saying like how he had so much money so many times, yo, if you literally go on Reddit and just search up Leo Love is Blind season 7, it's gonna be all like, oh, like Leo has money, like everyone's annoyed. And I'm just like, I feel like the people who kind of flex too much of what they have, they don't get the attention that they want back from it. I'm just like, people who don't kind of flex too much of like what they have, like where they are now, they get people to like, it's almost just like when you're humble, people will come to you and compliment you. When you're not humble, no one's gonna compliment you. That's literally the same thing for Leo. Leo is not humble about his money. Nobody cared about, nobody gave a damn about, like, even Hannah could give 2 fucks about Leo's money. And like anybody, like even Raymond, he couldn't care less. Had he been humble, they'd be like, oh, like, wow, like you actually like are very well off. Like, wow, like they would have found that attractive, you know? I think that's kind of just why, like, I'm so happy that Hannah didn't really like get picked by Leo. But I'm just like, I don't even know if Hannah, like, do you think that if Hannah was with Leo, like, would she be able to accept the fact that like, he's just gonna be bragging about money in the hotel? If he were to make it to Mexico, he'd be like, I have money. Yeah, this is why I afforded the trip. Yeah, I have money. And then next thing you know, they move into apartments. I have money. To his parents, to her family. Oh yeah, I have money. I'm very well off. Yeah, I have money. And then it's just like, it's just annoying. I think that's kind of why Brittany got the ick. I'm just like, why are you mentioning money? Like, why are you mentioning money like 24/7? Like, it's just like people who just kind of brag about like where they like, it's like an athlete. If you kind of brag about like, oh, like I'm the fastest person on the track team, no one's gonna compliment you. If you have a big ego, no one's gonna compliment you. But if you kind of just like be humble about like how fast you are as an athlete, they'd be like, oh, like you're so fast, like you're so fast. Like, I think I could relate to this myself, because I'm just like, I used to be a track athlete as well. That's why I kind of brought up track. And like when I was first doing track, like I never kind of bragged about how fast I became. But then, like when I started to get faster, I became egotistical, and then like nobody kind of just
counting the many ways Leo brings up his money.
Financially, like, very well off. Yeah. Like I'm not trying to build an influencer career. Like I'm a rich fucking market. Like yeah. I grew up like I went to a country club, went to private school, went to college. Yeah. I'm incredibly financially fortunate.
What else, Leo? What else, Leo?
Look, I would much rather have my problem than the problem of lack of money. It's a really great, lucky problem to have.
Leo, stop.
But it's scary because like oftentimes a girl
very scary
may want me like because like she just want me because she knows I'm like an art dealer and that like I have like money.
I did just notice you're wearing a Rolex.
One of the things that I am most insecure about is, does she want me because of my job and because of the money that I was very blessed to have?
Yeah.
I grew up like very well off, and like after I like really fortunate to be 30 years old and like really not like have to worry about money at all. Like, it's something I'm kind of like honestly a little bit uncomfortable talking about in general.
Lies.
I got inheritance
So much money.
like all at once and kind of, you know, relatively young, really blessed to inherit, like does like pretty well. If we woke up tomorrow, suddenly all my money vanished. If some hurricane came and destroyed all the art, and that like you would be there with me, and that like not like shit my fucking lottery ticket, just like that money's lucrative job for money. The money, really all my money, but financially like very well off.
Yeah.
Like I'm a rich fucking artist. Like the money, I have money.
That's crazy.